Nearly 90% of seniors take medications daily, yet few realize that something as simple as eating the wrong fruit can secretly make their condition worse, and even strip your medications of their power. Yes, those fruits you've trusted your whole life may not be as safe as you think. They are normally essential to any nutritious diet, helping us stay healthy and avoid hospital visits, doctor appointments, bitter pills, and frightening medical procedures. But you need to know that some fruits could actually land you in the emergency room. The 3 fruits I'm about to reveal are in kitchens across America right now. These aren't exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. They're ordinary, everyday fruits that have been marketed as healthy choices for decades. Yet when combined with common medications for different problems, they can trigger strokes, heart attacks, and life-threatening bleeding episodes. This is especially important if you're over 60 and taking prescription medications. In today's video, I'll walk you through each dangerous fruit to know exactly how they interact with your medications. And make sure to stick around till the end, because I'll also show you safe alternatives so you can enjoy nutritious foods without risking your health. As we age, it's common to face nagging problems. Heavy legs, painful cramps at night, or a memory that doesn't feel as sharp as it once was. Often, these issues come from not getting enough vitamins. That's why so many people turn to fruit. It feels like the safest, most natural way to fuel the body. But here's the twist. What if I told you that one very common fruit could do the exact opposite? Instead of protecting your health, it can clash with your medications, raise your blood pressure, and even set you up for a stroke. Which fruit am I talking about? That fruit is grapefruit. Tangy, refreshing, and rich in vitamin C, it's been praised for decades as a smart choice. Yet here's what most doctors never say out loud. This isn't a rare side effect. It's a hidden danger that many seniors face every day, one that almost never gets mentioned in quick doctor visits. How does this work? First, let me paint you a picture of what's really happening in your body. Grapefruit contains these special chemicals called furanocoumarins. Think of them as tiny troublemakers that sneak into your digestive system and block a crucial enzyme called CYP3A4. Now, this enzyme is like your body's cleanup crew. Its job is to break down your medication so they work properly and then get safely removed from your system. When grapefruit blocks this cleanup crew, your medications can't get processed normally. Instead, they start piling up in your bloodstream to dangerous, even toxic levels. Here's the really scary part. You might think you're safe because your neighbor drinks grapefruit juice with her blood pressure pills and feels fine. But everyone's body has different amounts of this enzyme. Some people have plenty, others have very little. That means grapefruit could affect you completely differently, even if you're taking the exact same medication. It's like playing Russian roulette with your morning routine. What troubles me most about this interaction is how unpredictable it is. I've seen patients who consume grapefruit safely for months suddenly develop dangerous complications when their body chemistry changed due to age, illness, or new medications. Let me tell you about Larry, an 80-year-old veteran from Texas. Every morning, he liked to start his day with a tall glass of grapefruit juice. He thought it was perfect, full of vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants. But one morning, his son found him collapsed at the breakfast table. At the hospital, doctors discovered his blood pressure had spiked to dangerous levels, putting him at risk of a stroke. The problem was that Larry was taking simvastatin for cholesterol and amlodipine for high blood pressure, both of which can interact severely with grapefruit, something Larry never knew. Fortunately, once he cut grapefruit out of his diet and his doctors adjusted his prescriptions, Larry made a full recovery. Not just for Larry, the FDA strongly recommend that people taking prescription medications Avoid grapefruit and grapefruit juice completely. Even small amounts can be dangerous. If you currently eat grapefruit regularly, talk to your doctor or pharmacist before making any changes to ensure your medications will work properly without this interaction. Now that you've seen how these so-called innocent fruits can secretly harm your body, let's move on. The next dangerous fruit is one of the most popular, healthy snacks out there, and chances are it's sitting in your fruit bowl right now. If you struggle with leg cramps, you probably heard that bananas are the go-to cure for this problem. That's why so many seniors make them part of their daily breakfast. But here's the shocking truth. Those soft, sweet bananas we've trusted our whole lives can actually trigger a heart attack in certain seniors. Hard to believe, isn't it? I say this because I've seen it happen in real life. One of my patients, Harold, was 74 and took his blood pressure medication faithfully every morning. He also ate 2 bananas a day because years earlier, his doctor had told him potassium was good for his heart. Then one morning, Harold's wife found him collapsed in their kitchen. What happened? It turned out his heart had stopped because of a condition called hyperkalemia, too much potassium in the blood. How did this happen? Don't worry, let me explain. But do all bananas have the same effect? No, you need to pay special attention to ripe bananas. These are worse because they contain more concentrated sugars that can spike your blood sugar while simultaneously overloading you with potassium. By having this information, you can prevent unfortunate cases like Harold. The tragedy is that Harold thought he was doing everything right. He was following old advice about potassium being heart healthy, not knowing that his medications had completely changed the rules of the game. This case taught me that medical advice isn't one size fits all. What's healthy for one person can become deadly for another when medications enter the picture, and we must constantly reassess our assumptions about healthy foods. Now that you've seen the hidden danger of bananas, let's talk about one last fruit. It's often labeled as healthy, but when mixed with blood-thinning medications, it can turn into a brain-bleeding nightmare. So listen carefully, especially if you're someone who enjoys drinking juice regularly. As we age, certain health issues can limit what we drink. That's why many seniors turn to fruit juices. They're sweet, refreshing, and packed with nutrients. Among them, cranberry juice often seems like the perfect option. Light, tangy, and loaded with antioxidants. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Cranberry juice can secretly turn itself into your enemy. If you're not careful, they can cause irreversible damage like brain bleed or strokes. So before you reach for that glass of cranberry juice, stay with me. I'm going to show you the hidden dangers and how to protect yourself. Here's what makes cranberry juice so insidious for people taking warfarin, a blood-thinning medication that prevents strokes. Cranberries contain powerful compounds called flavonoids that mess with a liver enzyme responsible for breaking down warfarin. When this enzyme gets blocked, warfarin can't be processed normally and starts building up in your system. It's like turning up the volume on your blood thinner without you or your doctor knowing it. Now, warfarin is a lifesaver for people with irregular heartbeats or artificial heart valves. It prevents the blood clots that cause strokes. But it's also one of the most dangerous medications to get wrong. Too little, and you're at risk for stroke. Too much, and you're at risk for catastrophic bleeding, especially in your brain. Doctors have to monitor warfarin so carefully with regular blood tests. What's particularly frightening about the cranberry warfarin interaction is how unpredictable it is. Some people can drink cranberry juice for months without problems. Then suddenly their blood becomes dangerously thin. Your genetics, kidney function, other medications, even the specific brand of cranberry juice can all affect how severe the interaction becomes. I've seen patients assume they're safe, because they've been drinking it without obvious problems, not realizing they're playing with fire. I have a patient named Martha, an 81-year-old woman from Illinois who I had been treating for atrial fibrillation, was rushed to the emergency room with blood pouring from her nose that wouldn't stop. Her INR, that's the blood test that measures how thin your blood is, had skyrocketed to over 10. Normal for someone on warfarin should be around 2 to 3. At 10, you're basically one bump away from bleeding to death. What had changed? Martha had started drinking cranberry juice every morning because her daughter read online that it was good for preventing urinary tract infections. Luckily, we were able to save her, but she spent a week in the hospital and needed multiple blood transfusions. She still gets nosebleeds that are difficult to control. But the danger doesn't stop at just cranberry juice. Those dried cranberries in your trail mix, cranberry supplements, even cranberry cocktail blends can contain enough of these compounds to interfere with your medication. Many of my patients had no idea their daily multivitamin contained cranberry extract that was silently sabotaging their stroke prevention therapy. Now that you understand how these 3 innocent-looking fruits can become health hazards, you're probably wondering what you can safely eat instead, and that's exactly what we'll cover next. So after hearing about all the terrifying cases above, you might be wondering if you should just avoid all fruits entirely. But here's the thing, you don't have to live in fear of your fruit bowl, you just need to know which ones are actually safe when you're taking medications. Let me start with the citrus family, since grapefruit causes so much trouble. Sweet oranges, the regular navel or Valencia oranges you find in any grocery store, are completely safe. They don't contain those troublesome furanocoumarins that block your liver enzymes. You can enjoy your morning orange juice or peel an orange as a snack without worrying about your blood pressure or cholesterol medications building up to dangerous levels. Lemons and limes are also safe options if you want that tart citrus flavor in your water or cooking. For those of you avoiding bananas because of potassium concerns, apples are your best friend. They give you fiber and natural sweetness with significantly less potassium than bananas. Berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries are fantastic choices too. They're packed with antioxidants and vitamins, but won't overload your system with potassium. Watermelon, despite being mostly water, provides that sweet satisfaction without the dangerous potassium levels that could trigger heart rhythm problems. Now, if you're taking warfarin and need to avoid cranberry products, you have plenty of juice options. Apple juice offers mild sweetness without interfering with your blood clotting. Orange juice, as I mentioned, is safe. Even grape juice, while requiring a bit more caution, is generally much safer than cranberry juice. The key is that most fruits don't mess with your body's ability to process warfarin the way cranberries do. Here's something important I want you to understand. This isn't about eliminating nutrition from your diet. It's about making smart swaps. It breaks my heart when I see my patients get so scared about food-drug interactions that they stop taking their medications altogether. That's far more dangerous than any fruit could ever be. Your heart medications, blood thinners, and cholesterol drugs are keeping you alive. We just need to make sure your food choices support them instead of sabotaging them. What gives me the most satisfaction is helping patients realize they can still enjoy delicious, nutritious foods while staying safe. Remember, it's about being informed, not living in fear, and making choices that support rather than undermining your health goals. And that is the end of today's video. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on living a healthy, fulfilling life. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know ever experienced strange symptoms after eating a fruit you thought was healthy? What happened and how did you figure out the cause? Share your stories in the comments below. I always enjoy reading them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.